Hello and welcome to the Ant-Man channel. It is Tuesday the 29th of October 2013 and I'm your host, Ant-Man, and I'm feeling spiffy today. Why? Because, I don't know, when you start getting back into like your exercise and your daily, training camp thing and the things that you like to do, like, exercise in general, man, it just feels so rewarding, so good. Um, so yeah, get your blood flow on out there. And take a break from the TV if that's all you do. You want to you want to stimulate your brain a little more than that, bro. You should look into MK Ultra if you have trouble with understanding what that even is, or the reason why your brain does not work, or its activity slowed down from watching TV. Anyways, I'm already way off topic. You know me. WND.com is where I'm at right now. And if you want to go look at this article for yourself, because it has all kinds of videos on it as well as the article attached to it, you can go to it, WND.com. This is a front page article, and it is entitled, which is a WND exclusive, George Zimmerman, Civil Rights Hero, ? Stunning expose reveals efforts to seek justice for black man. I'll just get into this. George Zimmerman, a civil rights hero, ? That's one of the revelations in Jack Cashill's new book, If I Had a Son, Race, Guns, and the Railroading of George Zimmerman, published Tuesday by WND Books. I don't know, it's just suspicious in my own right to think that, like these race hustlers are going after George Zimmerman, Eric Holder, why is he going after him already when he's been already the whole entire he has already gone to court and done this already, so what is his beef? So I guess he's just trying to pin him as a racial person, and you can already see that the intentions of this guy is it's totally political and has nothing to do with what the man was actually doing. It's just Eric Holder, man. The guy's been caught doing so many shady things. So how can you even begin to trust that guy? It was Zimmerman acquitted by a jury in July of a charge of second-degree murder over the death of Trayvon Martin, who led the charge to bring to justice for a black man assaulted by a white teenager in 2011. And If I Had a Son, Cashill brings to light the details of the Sherman Ware incident in Zimmerman's crusade for justice, writing, "In fact, Zimmerman made about as unlikely a racist poster child as America could produce. In December 2010, a police lieutenant's son, Justin Collison, sucker punched a black homeless man named Sherman Ware outside a bar in Sanford, Florida. Although Ware suffered a concussion and there was video evidence of Collison's attack, no action was taken against Collison, who is white, for nearly a month. Reuters reporter Daniel Trotta talked about the incident in his April 3rd analysis of the early days of the Trayvon phenomenon. He made no mention of Zimmerman's role in that controversy. That role was a significant one. Upset at the lack of media attention the Ware case was getting, Zimmerman and his wife Shelley printed flyers demanding that the community hold accountable officers responsible for misconduct. They then passed flyers out to area churches as a public meeting. In January 2011, Zimmerman took the floor and said, "I would just like to state that the law is written in black and white. It should not and cannot be enforced in the gray for those that are in the thin blue line." The meeting was recorded on video. As a result of the publicity, Police Chief Brian Tooley, from whom Zimmerman blasted for his illegal cover-up and corruption, was forced to resign, and Collison was arrested. Zimmerman headlined his flyer with a famous quote from Anglo-Irish statesman Edmund Burke: "The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing." And I think that time's coming to an end, you guys. It's good to see people out there that are actually standing up and pointing fingers now. I don't like all of this misplaced compassion that everyone has, that, oh, well, he's just a misled youth. No, how about we hold people accountable and have to deal punishment out for people who want to do bad things, man? I like Strange Fire conferences because now Christians are actually standing up and calling out people who are heretical and misusing and abusing even the preaching of the word in the name of God for their own, I don't know why, but I mean, it's interesting to see that this is not a small thing. This is like one of the biggest things going on in religion right now. And this is a phenomenon, man. It's going to bring a lot of people out, and it's going to make people stand up and know that they know what facts are, and to stand boldly and proclaim the gospel and be confident about it. Or as some would say, arrogant. My atheist friends out there think I'm arrogant. But I guess I need to take an apologetics class because I'm a little too, I don't know, maybe it's my tone. But anyways, I'm not trying to win a popularity contest. I'm just trying to report stuff here. But from what I see here, it's just they want to control the narrative and the talking points in the mainstream media and tell you who can be racist and who can't. You know, it's just more of the same race hustling from the top. Cashel said this is the wannabe cop Zimmerman that we are talking. Um, he worked with the local NAACP and Natalie Jackson, who would become part of Team Trayvon to seek justice for Ware. And they all betrayed him after the incident with Trayvon Martin because it was in their best interest to pretend they didn't know who he was. The story of Zimmerman's crusade has largely gone unreported through mainstream media indifference and the labeling of anyone who mentions it as racist. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm not racist or anything, but I just want to point out one thing that I noticed with some of the African American community is that they have this like false entitlement that they feel because like they feel like they have this entitlement to act the way they do because their ancestors were slaves and they weren't slaves themselves. So it's really like just bringing up old problems. And you know, as a Christian, you don't bring up the past. It muddies up the future. You need to get over it and be stronger than that and know that your own insecurities are in your own head and no one's actually, you know what I mean? Like no one hates you, man. You're making this stuff up. And I've also noticed that they are very, very keen to adopting the Quran and the Muslim, you know, ways because I mean you could see this from the Muhammad Ali stuff, and you could see this from a lot of examples of this, and it's because people use you emotionally to treat you like you're entitled to something, man. And it's because there are smarter people out there that are using you and taking you for a ride because they want to push their political agendas here in America. We should not accept Muslim. I mean, people we can all be friends and stuff, but if someone's a devout, you know, Muslim extremist, then you better understand what they're reading in their Quran, man, and that is deception, that is intolerance. And in my Bible, from what I interpret it, because I use hermeneutics and I understand what it's trying to say to me, and I'm not taking it out of context, and I understand that the old Roman Catholic Church had counter reformations and they did mess with certain Bibles. I understand something though, and that is that the Bible never condemns anyone, and it doesn't tell you to go around condemning people, and that is something that everyone works on still, because we're so conditioned to everything. But you cannot, you know, I'm tired of people saying that we've killed people and that God condones rape and all that stuff. And because you know what, man, it doesn't say that, and it's absurd for you to do that. And you know, it's just you're taking things out of context and trying to say that you understand what it's actually saying. Robert Zimmerman tried to get out of the story, but Natalie Jackson said he was playing the race card, calling Zimmerman a racist, and the mainstream media didn't want to know this side of Zimmerman because they had their narrative, and they didn't want any information to get out that contradicted it, said Cashel. Natalie Jackson was one of the attorneys retained by Trayvon Martin's family. Infamously, her mother, civil rights activist Frances Oliver, said, "I've been fighting white people my whole life, seems like." Well, it seems like because it's in your own head. No one's, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know why people think that in the name of division and getting rid of other people that there's going to be peace. That's not peace. That's the same type of stuff that inspired people like Pol Pot and Joseph Stalin to go around and persecute people. And I guess you're a nitwit if you don't see that. Of her daughter Natalie, Oliver said, "I raised her on the front lines of the movement." Well, Sherman Ware's sister even spoke at a Justice for Trayvon rally, for a Trayvon rally, I guess, even though she had to have known about the role Zimmerman played in the crusade for justice he spearheaded for her brother, Cashel said. Roger Aronoff, editor of Accuracy in Media, said this is Cashel's illuminating look at the Zimmerman-Martin affair. Illuminating, huh? If the reader had any doubt that media bias was at the heart of the George Zimmerman trial, Jack Cashel's powerful new book, If I Had a Son, puts this misconception to rest, armed with example after example of purposeful media falsifications, lies, and deceptions. Cashel explores how the black grievance industry, BGI, and the race-mongering mainstream media manufactured a narrative that Zimmerman was an over-vigilant cop, wannabe, who stalked Trayvon Martin to his untimely death. And yeah, man, I'm not agreeing with anybody that he should have been killed. That's just a travesty. It's a tragedy. It's not good that he did that. But you know, I wasn't there. I cannot say for a fact that, you know, who is right and who is wrong, man. It's just, but when you look at the mainstream media and what they're trying to push on you, it's bull. Don't ever take that stuff, man. Don't ever take it lightly, because they're trying to say that, you know, these like young punks out there, man, whether you be black, white, or Hispanic, have a, you know, they're trying to give them all this misplaced compassion, like it's okay to be into this destructive MTV gangbanger lifestyle, and it's not, man. You're at the core of the problem of our culture, man. I can't even be a Christian and go out and not be persecuted in this country. And this is supposedly a Christian country, man. This was founded on Christianity here, and now we're becoming, you know, through all the indoctrination in the public schools, we're getting all the persecution nowadays because you're raising children to believe in evolution. You're training children to be raised in secular humanism, and that's always going to go toward the Christian, because the Christian is based on the standard of truth, who is Jesus Christ. And we know truth, and that's what it is. And then you can know absolute truth, and there is no shade of gray. You're either for the Lord or you're not. But anyways, the real story is quite different. The teenage Martin has been suspended from school on multiple occasions and had a recent preoccupation with guns, none of which was known to Zimmerman when their paths met. In contrast, Zimmerman was known to others as a tugboat, a man of faith willing to offer assistance to neighbors of all races when they were down on their luck, or needed a helping hand. For his actions as a neighborhood watch captain, Zimmerman was crucified by both the media and the BGI as a racist. In the end, the jury's not guilty verdict was correctly based on the specific evidence relative to this case and to the charges Zimmerman faced. Cashel effectively confronts the misleading media deceptions which race-baited the nation over this tragedy, offering a point-by-point analysis of each chronological piece of the puzzle, criticizing such public figures as Barack Obama, Al Sharpton, and Jesse Jackson, all racists, all probably Muslims. Readers will come away with an entirely different understanding of the trial, different from the false bill of goods sold by the media. Well, in a land where everybody wants something for free and just blame other people because of the problems in the world, you know, hey, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, these are the yuppies of America today, man. We're under a scientific dictatorship of brainwashing in this country, and there is a dumbing down of the general public that's been going on for 100 years in this country. It's no surprise, man. They even change the tests in the high schools they even make them easier because of how dumb people are getting today. And it's just, it's a shock, man. You know, like I try to reach out to some kid on the internet, and he had nothing good to say to me at all. And I just stopped talking to him because of that. But it's absurd that you think because you think you know science and because you want to call evolution science that you've debunked all of what religion and history has to say. It's so retarded. I'm sorry to use that word, but it's stupid. You're not using your brain. You just want to hide, and you cannot hide. You can run, but you cannot hide from the truth, and you're gonna have to face it one day, or him, as I should say. And to think that you can just slander someone and that makes you right, and then you call someone else the hated, bigoted person is such a hypocrisy that I will not even begin to even debate with you about it. You're absolutely brainwashed. If I had a son tells how, for the first time in the history of America, jurisprudence, a state government, the U.S. Department of Justice, the White House, the major media, the entertainment industry, the satanic Hollywood entertainment industry, and the vestiges of the civil rights movement conspired to put an innocent man in prison for the rest of his life. All that stood between Zimmerman and lifetime internment were two folksy local lawyers, their aides, and some very dedicated citizen journalists, most notably an unpaid handful of truth seekers at the blogging collective known as the Conservative Treehouse. If I had a son, takes an inside look at this unprecedented battle formation. If I had a son tells the story, 2 of the 6 stalwart female jurors who ignored the enormous pressure mounting around them and preserved America's beliefs in its judicial system. In the wake of the verdict, skeptics in the Martin camp claimed that the state of Florida did not play to win. In the course of his research, Cashel came across some startling evidence which suggests that those skeptics may indeed be right. If I had a son, is the one and only comprehensive look at the most political significant trial in decades. What George Zimmerman learned in the course of his ordeal is that although he supported Obama and lobbied for Obama and voted for Obama at least once, in the final analysis he did not look enough like Obama to be his son. And that made all the difference. So I guess they're selling this book on W&D if you want to buy it. I'm sure it's a good read. So see Cashel's comment on his investigation on the Martin case. You know, a lot of people out there put their neck on the line to give you this information, and you should appreciate it, because other than that, you would be falling for all of this propaganda that is trying to demonize white people, and they're trying to form like a coalition of just black misfit thugs to go around and terrorize good law-abiding citizens. And if you can't see this, then you don't like the truth. You just want to hear whatever you want to hear. Okay? And that's just the straight up truth. That this kind of stuff is an atrocity and abomination, man. You guys should rebuke this stuff. God bless you and have a good day.